Hi, I'm Anthony Imperio, and my foreign country is China. China is on the map, located south of Russia and Mongolia. The main language spoken in China is Standard Mandarin, Chinese. The population is 1.4 billion people, while the country is the number one populated in the world. The GDP in China is around $9,000. You might think that is a lot of money, and maybe it is to a lot of other countries. But in perspective, the United States makes around $58,000 for their GDP per person. And China might be the most populated country, but their GDP is not the best at all. Chinese culture has an enormous effect on their daily lives. Kung Fu is one of the great examples of that. According to a survey in 2011, one of every three people do Kung Fu, and it is very important to them. They spend up to 7 hours a day practicing it. There was a movie that everyone knows called Kung Fu Panda, and that movie received a lot of praise from the Chinese and for being rather accurate to their lives, even though it's a cartoon. Um, it just shows daily routine and how it impacts their culture. Something there that isn't like here. Everybody in China loves tea, and every meal of the day they eat, they drink tea with it, and that's interesting. Most people that are middle aged usually work 8 to 12 hours a day and can work up to 6 to 7 hours a week. I mean, days a week. And elderly people are treated with a lot more respect, but they still work. There are a lot of parks in China, and they have tons of activities for the elderly people, like Kung Fu, or they do just like Thai and stuff like that. A big historical event that happened in China was the Opium Wars, and the Opium Wars involved China and Great Britain. Great Britain liked China's tea, and China was giving them tea while Great Britain was giving them opium. And then the Chinese people started getting addicted to the opium, and they didn't want it anymore, so they started refusing to trade with Britain. And then Britain started a war with them called the Opium Wars about that. And they beat down the Chinese to the point where they had to surrender. And now, today, the Chinese people refer to that period as the century of humiliation because they had to retire. Surrender to the Great Britons because they're getting beat so bad. Healthcare in China consists of public and private health, and the good thing about the healthcare system is 95% of the population has at least basic health insurance or coverage. And the Chinese government by 2020 wants to have 100% of their residents covered with insurance. The biggest health threat in China is smoking cigarettes. 63% of males smoke cigarettes in China, and that's a lot more than the United States. Major health advantages in China is that they eat a lot healthier, and like I said earlier, 95% of their people have health care, unlike the United States. And that is all about China, and that was my China presentation.